Hello, my dear singing friend. This is a bonus episode. I wanted just to talk about a discussion I recently had with some of my students. And it's about your voice type and singing high and singing low. So someone told me that their teacher or their former teacher told them, well, the money is in the high notes. Those are really the money notes. And then actually someone else commented that Karen Carpenter from the Carpenters, she actually said that the money is in the low notes, that she had actually tried to sing songs. They made an album with her higher voice, but it was not received very well. So she kept sticking to her lower voice. She was more of an alto. That doesn't mean she didn't have a larger range, but she sang more in an alto voice. When I try to sing some of the Carpenter songs, a lot of times they will kind of hang out on the low end just a bit. The pickup notes are often too low for me, so I have to transpose it a couple of half steps up for them to be in my sweet spot, to sound and to resonate the best way. And then here are a few things to think about. For example, Sarastro from the Magic Flute, he is a character in there. That is sung by a bass. And certainly everyone who listens to the aria, O Isis und Osiris, they wait for that low notes. Da, 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 da. I can't even go that low. In the very end, he actually goes down to the root instead of going up. That's what everyone waits for. Also, for example, Showboat. That is a Broadway show, and there is this very famous song, Old Man River. Old Man River. And that is sung in a low voice by a bass. So not every voice type will always just have the high notes that everyone waits for. If you are a high soprano like me, if you are a soubrette or a coloratura soprano, yes, the money is in the high notes. And if I sing a Baroque aria, I go to the da capo, I will definitely show off the high end and the coloraturas, the agility, because that is my strength. And that is an innate quality of my voice. I was born with that voice. I didn't do anything for it to be that way. Yes, I did train my coloraturas and more agility, but it is something that came to me in a quite natural way. Now, what would be difficult for me is the low end. I can't really have a full tone on the low end because that is not naturally what my voice is. I just want to say here that it's not all about being obsessed with the high notes. That does not mean that you should not challenge yourself. It also doesn't mean that you should not always sing through your entire range and work on your high end. You should try to expand your range and not neglect any part of your voice. You should not neglect any register. You should always sing through your chest register and your head register. Even if you are a classical soprano, you will definitely need your chest voice at some point. I have found that training my pop voice has actually helped my classical voice, because training my chest voice to go higher, it's almost like I'm training all the muscles in the full range of motion instead of just those muscles that are more involved in head voice. Also, if I'm singing pop, I feel like it totally helps me to have sung a lot of opera and to have trained my head voice to go high and low. Basically, if I train my chest voice in its full range and expand the range of my chest voice, and also at the same time, I'm constantly trying to work through the entire range of my head voice, high and low, there is a really big area of overlap. So my passaggio, that area where I can transition, it expands, which then gives me a lot more options to sing through all kinds of different songs in the sound that I desire, because at any point, I have at least an octave in which I can create some transition. So I can go lower when I do something semi-classical, for example, like, I feel pretty, oh so pretty. I want to sound semi-classical. I can be a little bit more in chest voice on the bottom, but go into head voice a little sooner. When I sing a Mozart piece, I can take my head voice lower and then go into chest voice when I get really low. Just saying that it gives me a lot of options to have different sounds, because it does sound different depending on whether you are in chest voice or in head voice. Also, the weight of the register. It's much easier for me now to have a lot of variety in the darkness or lightness and the weight of the sound, because I can sing chest voice either more heavy, I am heavy, and I can also sing it more lighter, I am lighter, which then gives me more of a mix approach, which then makes a transition smoother. And I also can make my head voice lighter or more heavy. I can sing more classically, or I can sing a little bit more light, which gives me different options in different genres to sound authentic, to sound appropriate for that style, and to make it less. I just feel like it's very bumpy when you don't have a choice of how and where you create that transition. Only to tell you that your voice is unique and your voice type isn't only tied to how high or low you can sing. There's a lot more involved, and I just don't want you to be constantly obsessed with just singing high as if that were all that mattered. Yes, there are a lot of singers nowadays who sing high, but I mean, I talked about it yesterday in my live stream. Dua Lipa, she's like a, pop singer nowadays. She's more of an alto. She doesn't sing that high. She sings low. So there are a lot of singers who don't just sing high. It's not like if you don't sing high, you're not an amazing singer. There are a lot of amazing singers who are very popular and very successful who don't hang out on the high notes. Plus, what sounds high might not be high. It's all relative. It all depends on where does your range lie overall. So, you could still have a 4-octave range, but overall it sits lower or it sits higher overall. It really does depend. That's the kind of thing that you really need someone experienced to listen to your voice, to help you identify what is your voice type, what is your uniqueness, what makes your individual voice so special, and then respect that, because you are going to create a lot of strain if you do what is not innately the tendency of your voice. So in my Vocal Mastery Lab, which is my most intense program that I currently run, there's a lot of one-on-one interaction. We talk to each other on the Marco Polo video messenger app, Monday through Wednesday, every week. Everyone has full access to me. You can send me all your videos where you do your homework. We work on songs, we work on exercises, and I tailor everything to your individual voice. We work one-on-one, but in addition to that, you also have access to a group that we talk to one another. So you have that support. You also see that you're kind of all sitting in the same boat. You're all on the same journey. No one's at this level of I'm just so professional, I don't need any help anymore. And no one is at the level where it's okay, you're zero beginner. Although I have worked with absolute beginners in the Vocal Mastery Lab, and I've worked with professionals. But because I'm working one-on-one and it's tailored to you specifically, really, it doesn't matter whether you want to sing opera or jazz or pop or rock. And I'm really known for crossing over a lot of genres. So whether you want to sing a Josh Groban, more semi-classical thing, or you want to sing a Verdi aria or a Puccini aria, or you want to just sing a Sam Smith song or Adele, whatever you want, we can work on it. And here's the thing. There are no quick fixes, but this is why I run this for 6 months. 6 months is the requirement, because if anyone's going to tell you you're going to fix your voice really quickly and revamp everything, it's a lie. It does take time. It's like an athlete. Yes, you can have small wins. We can definitely fix something and quickly change a habit and make it new and make things work. But it's one aspect of so many aspects. One aspect might cause a lot of improvement to where you feel wow, this has really made a big difference. So if you can master vibrato and be aware, or if you could just master your support and get a better feeling, that can already cause a lot of improvement. But it's one aspect. There's still so much more. Music is quite complex in the way that there is a lot that you could do, and there are a lot of options and possibilities of how it could sound, and starting to understand kind of the rules of music and how the voice works and how music flows, that does take a little bit of time and training. And it's like a language. You can learn all the grammar and all the forms and all the vocabulary. That's all great, but that doesn't mean you're going to write an amazing poem in that language yet. That does take a different level to truly become a master. It does take a lot of polishing to get this really a good feeling for all those details that do exist. And that's where I come in. You also have the advantage that you are being pushed to record yourself on video because I want you to send me videos, but because you're just sending them to me, you really don't need to be nervous. My students pretty much all tell me that I really make it easy for them to feel comfortable, to trust me, to open up, to just send me these videos because I'm kind about everything. I'm very open. I'm not sugarcoating anything, but I'm very kind about it. If someone doesn't do something right, it's not like, oh, you're stupid, you can't do it. Well, who would say to a piano student who has never studied all the scales with the right fingerings, well, you're just no good. No, we need to actually start learning these things. And this is where I'm coming from. It's like, okay, this is something I see that you might not be aware of. So this is something we should work on. Right now, I'm working with a student on onsets. We started with legato and staccato exercises. And now we kind of uncovered while doing those exercises that the onset needs to be tweaked. It's very tense and it has this delay sometimes when you go like, ah, instead of ah, to where it comes out right away. And so that's what we're working on. I love working on those details. I always have this vision. Any new voice that I hear for the first time, I hear all the good things. I also hear all the things that should be worked on that are like inaccuracies, for example, pitch inaccuracies, vibrato that is maybe too much or not enough or non-existent. And I love having this vision and like helping someone understand this is where you stand and this and this and this is something that we can work on. So I love seeing the true potential and helping someone get on this path of finding ease, minimizing the strain, and to help them through the frustrations that may currently exist. There's a lot of mindset work involved because a lot of times it's the attitude toward your voice that also suffers. When things don't work, I know we all have these times when we feel demoralized and it feels very just disappointing sometimes. It's like, man, I've been working on this and it looks like it's just not working. And I found it once, but like I did it yesterday and today I can't do it anymore. And I always tell my student, if you found it once, you're going to find it again. If it worked once, it will work again. It's just a matter of creating that muscle memory. That is difficult. It will take time. It's like an athlete. It's like knowing something is not the same as doing it. So knowing is the first thing. And I'm here to put everything on your radar to make you aware what to listen for, what to pay attention to. And what order of things, where should you start? Because there are so many things you could possibly do. That's the hardest thing a lot of times, like what should I focus on? And, we always take a song kind of as a case study. We take something that challenges you. And then sometimes we take something where you can specifically focus on or a couple of very specific issues and we make it easy for you. And then I share with you the exercises and the resources you can use. But a lot of times I will just individually tell you, like, try this exercise right here, and I'll show you in the Marco Polo message. And then you can just go off, try it, work on it, and the next day you come back and say, hi, Freya, I've worked on this. Here it is. Am I on the right path? Is this the right direction? And then I can help you and say, yes, definitely go in the right direction. Now you can still tweak this. Or you say, I don't know about this. It doesn't feel right. It feels difficult. What am I doing wrong? And then I can go in and say, this is what you're doing. This is what's causing the strain or the feeling of like it's not working. Maybe we take another approach. And sometimes it's a matter of trying all kinds of different approaches, thinking about things from a different angle, that then will lead to success. It is a marathon and not a sprint. So if you're interested in finding out more about the Vocal Mastery Lab, it is an investment time-wise and financially, but it is also something that you're going to have for the rest of your life. No one can ever take it away from you. When you work on your voice and you fix things to where you have much more control over your voice and you understand music, it brings you so much more joy and keeps the excitement in music, in your singing, no matter what your goal is, whether it's singing in your choir or as a soloist or just for yourself. There's just something about singing that is very special. It's something that we do as human beings that is just, it connects us. For me personally, music kind of helped me through a lot of difficult times as a child, and then later in life when there was, really heartbreaking things happening. It really helped me. Singing and like diving deep in music and performing music myself. It's not just listening to music, but singing and creating music. I wrote a lot of songs, and a lot of times I wrote a very, melancholic songs, but that helped me through those difficult times because I had a way to release and to kind of let it out. It was an outlet where I kind of worked through the issues all by myself, and it really did help with a lot of healing. So if you want to find out more, go to masteryourvoice.tv/VML, and you can see all the information on there. If you still have questions after that, we will stay open for registration for the next week or so. I only have spots for a few new members. Currently, I have a group that I run. There's not a start date. Whenever you register, you start, because we work mostly one-on-one. And when I feel I'm at capacity, I'm going to close the doors and just focus on working. I take a personal interest in everyone's success in the Vocal Mastery Lab, and whatever it is that you want to work on, we totally can. It's always helpful when I have some sheet music, because then I can sit here at the piano and like plunk it out. Very helpful. But again, it's all about you and helping you discover your true natural voice. Again, masteryourvoice.tv/VML, and you can send me an email to info@masteryourvoice.tv. If you have any questions about the Vocal Mastery Lab or anything else, if you have any comments, any questions, any ideas for, episodes or content, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what's going on. Where are you at on your journey? And I would certainly love to welcome you in my Vocal Mastery Lab and work with you in a one-on-one setting over the next 6 months. Well, I've actually had members who have been part of the Vocal Mastery Lab for, a few years already, actually. So it's really fun when I get to know someone, because there's something about the voice that is just so personal. And it's a great relationship of trust. Have an amazing day, my friend. Be blessed. And don't forget, always keep a song in your heart and always keep on singing. Bye now.